Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Back to the Braylon Network Show 2.0 Woodward Sports. This is what we do, and I am so excited to be back. Wasn't in yesterday, me and B-Lad. We had some other stuff going on that we'll get to in a second, but just want to say thank you for choosing this network, and thank you for choosing this show every single time. Anson, did you miss me? In the words of Varnell Hill, and if you know, you know.
You know, I did miss you, but now I'm thinking about it, man. Like, B-Lad's got it really good. My man has been going to some awesome events at your side, capturing some awesome content too, but I'm not going to lie. I was pretty envious yesterday. I'd worked the last two.
Right.
Good food, great vibes, all of that stuff. So I know you guys had a good time. I'm glad you're back. Mildly salty, but we're going to have a great show.
I will say this, you're absolutely right. B-Lad and I did get a chance to go to the UMCU event up in Ann Arbor. Got a chance to talk to Jameer Gibbs, Derrick Moore, who we'll get into today.
Cool stuff.
Excited. That is a name that we'll get into today. And then yesterday, we get a chance to be on the golf course, et cetera, and get a chance to talk to some former players. But here it is, though, man. Like, you're important here. All that you do here for this show, for this network, and the things that you do. Yesterday, I wasn't able to make the show, but guess what? You held it down. You had our boy Kool-Aid on the show, on the desk, and you were able to introduce the newest TD to, well, this show, and I think it's going to be the last TD we have, and that is my guy, Justin Satawa. Extremely excited to be working with the man, the myth, the legend, head of Woodward Wings and other things.
Crushing it with Woodward Wings.
So excited. And you know what? That is a conversation that keeps on going. So we will get into that conversation as you see on the thumbnail. Dylan Larkin, a lot is being made of the teams that he's saying this is the destination for me. We'll get into that in the second hour.
I think we're going to be doing more Red Wings.
We will
that'll be a thing now.
100%. We have an individual that's passionate about it, grew up playing the sport, knows the sport inside. Now, he also knows college football.
Yes, he does.
He also knows college football. There he is.
I'll have to be watching a lot more of both this next year.
Oh, yes, you will, Anson. and I can't lie. Braylon, you are a man of many trades, but I can't lie to you. I'm more excited to talk college football to you than I am about the Detroit Red Wings. So I'm very well welcome to the show, and I'm so lucky to be here, and I'm so excited to take this show to the moon with you, too.
100%, man. We appreciate you. Woodward Sports 2.0, this is what we do. Now, I missed yesterday, so we didn't get a chance to do a weekend catch-up. A lot going on. We don't need to go around the room and this, that, and the third, but I do need to say there's an individual that shot me an invite this past Friday to come up to a crab boil in Ann Arbor this past Saturday, and I did not get a chance to make it. Sweet Potato Cam.
I'm
sorry, brother.
I wanted that story of you there.
I'm sorry, brother. I could not make it. Busy weekend, graduations, etc. I should extend it to you a phone call. Should extended you a text. That is on me. Tell me, what did I miss?
You know, it is all good, brother. It was awesome times, great company, outdoors, good food. I did run into this like really interesting Italian couple though. However, they. Been in the U.S. for a year, and that day...
Italian, like born and raised in Italy, and now they're over here?
Italy.
Oh, Italy.
Correct.
Excuse me. Okay.
The accent was super cute. Anyways, my dude, though, it was the first time he ever had pineapple on his pizza that day.
Hey, hold on.
Yes.
Whoa, Jay. Hold on. I happen to be a pineapple on pizza guy. I'm not a Hawaiian guy because I don't like the pineapple with just the ham.
I don't like the ham.
I like pineapple with banana peppers and pepperoni.
Yes.
And maybe a sprinkle of bacon to it. Come on.
Maybe onion.
Oh, I'm cool with that too. Jay, what's up? No pineapple on pizza? What's up?
Hell no. A good pizza only needs cheese, people. If it's a good pizza, it doesn't need all the pizzazz. It doesn't need the hot honey. It just needs a great sauce, a great cheese, and then a perfectly buttered crust. That's all it takes. I don't need the bells and whistles.
His young taste buds haven't developed.
Oh, shut up, Anson. I have the most diverse palate at the network other than this guy right here.
You know what I love about that, though? It's like saying, you know what? A good woman, all she needs to be is beautiful. all a good woman needs to be is intelligent. No, you want all the things. I wanted to be beautiful. I wanted to be intelligent. I wanted to be well-rounded. I wanted to have a little bit of sense of humor in there. I wanted to have some aggression. You got to have other things. I want the pineapple. It accentuates the cheeses. It accentuates the marinara.
does.
And then when you tie it in with a
Sweet
little
and
banana
savory.
pepper, come on, you get a little sweet and tangy at the same time.
You guys are all a bunch of terrorists.
Precisely.
That's crazy.
But then check it out,
It's
though.
so good, though.
Check it out, though.
I
dude.
think so.
To top the night off,
Okay.
not only was that day a first for their pineapple pizza, but the first time they ever consumed s'mores.
What?
Okay, now.
Yes.
Where are they from?
And we had to capture it on camera. We take pictures. They're from Italy.
Oh, okay.
I'm-
I was gonna say.
I'm glad we brought up s'mores. Like, every time s'mores comes up, I have this conversation. I think s'mores are the most overrated food tasting experience, American tradition, et cetera, et cetera. S'mores absolutely suck. I don't like marshmallows. I don't like how you melt them together. Like, I like graham crackers by themselves. I don't like the combo. But I will say this. S'mores, the whole of it, in terms of sitting around the campfire,
activity.
lighting the s'mores, putting it together,
The ritual.
usually leads to conversation or leads to moments that you can pull on from years to come. So I'm cool with that. But the taste itself is trash.
Just half.
The taste itself is
Just
trash.
half of the mushroom, or not the mushroom.
Oh, see, look where your mind is at.
Always.
That's what you did this weekend.
No, half the marshmallow. How did you
Okay.
know? No, half the marshmallow, man. It's the ratio. Have you ever noticed how like a giant Snickers is not as good as a normal Snickers?
Yes, that is fair.
Especially
that-
whatchamacallit, the
very
normal
fair.
it's the ratio.
Whatchamacallit,
So
not
the
so much.
the large whatchamacallit is trash. Small whatchamacallit, excellent. Same thing. You got to use only half of the marshmallow, guys.
Half of the marshmallow. All right, note to self. Next time that I'm acting like I'm eating Smarties, use half
you
of the
go.
marshmallow.
There you go.
1,000%.
Ratios, baby.
A lot going on this weekend, man. Before we get into what's going on today, but one story caught me off
Crazy.
guard. One story was
Stop it.
absolutely freaking insane.
Stop it, dude.
I just don't even know what I understood. I sent this conversation to the chat. Apparently, Jonathan Cooper, NFL former linebacker in the NFL, him and his girlfriend got into a domestic dispute of sorts, an altercation. Don't necessarily know exactly all the details surrounding the story, but I did catch one detail.
One detail.
That
sticks out.
detail, the minor detail, apparently during the fight or during the disturbance, Jonathan Cooper swallowed his girlfriend's cell phone.
Her what?
I repeat, Jonathan Cooper swallowed his girlfriend's cell phone.
Was it a flip phone?
You know what? I hope so. It's a little
Like
smaller.
a razor?
I just want to know this, Anson. And the crew, like, I hope he ain't about to swallow no razor.
No,
Why?
remember the old razor
Like,
phone? It's got to be
100%.
a small phone, dude.
Like, why would you swallow? And I don't know this young man's
Some
circumstances or
heavily
things of that
petty
nature.
stuff.
I'm just on the outside, on the surface. Why do you swallow a cell phone?
To bury evidence.
At least, but
To
here's,
bury evidence.
Okay, but here's the thing: why is he swallowing her cell phone?
That's what I don't get.
I see if it was yours and you
Then
are
yeah.
you are OnlyFans
This-
and Tinder.
no one's
and
ever
you got
seen
some,
this.
illegitimate kids floating around or something like that, and you're like, oh man, you're in a pinch. I had some drinks, I had some pops.
But
And
hers.
her cell phone. What are you doing?
Apparently, she had some like photos of her late mother that she couldn't get back. I think he was really trying to emotionally hurt her.
Harm her.
Yes.
This sounds like a expertise field for Sweet Potato Cam and Anson. What's up? Why are we swallowing cell phones?
Why am I an expert in this one?
You said what?
Why you said it? Not me.
Because you got excited. You spoke first.
Well, I'm excited by this story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I did well in my day. I didn't like bag one for good, but I did well in my day. And there was a lot of girls that after the fact, guys be like, "Oh, you dated her too? She was crazy, right?" I'm like, "No, she's fine." I don't make girls crazy. I drive them crazy, but I don't make them crazy, right? And so this is the type of deal where like I haven't had anything go too crazy where a girl's flipped out.
Yeah.
The worst I ever had was a girl took this framed photo that she had for me, took it off the wall in the middle of an argument and smashed it on the ground. I'm like, you made that. Why would you do that? She had hidden some breakup note in there from like months before that she wanted to now display. So she had pre-planned the whole thing out. And I was kind of impressed at the end of it, but I haven't had anybody like harm their body or anything crazy like that. But I do know some crazy stories because I got some wild ass buddies.
I will say this, Sweet Potato Cam and everybody else in the chat. I do know that what makes girls crazy is what makes girls crazy.
You already know.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Same thing that drives them
And
crazy.
if you know, Sweet Potato Cam, tell us, man, any crazy girlfriend stories? What you choose to get into it, B-Lad as well as Jay? Like crazy girlfriend stories?
Yes, B.
Okay.
This was a while ago, early 2000s, Thanksgiving. We come back to my place. Chick is over. I've got a good friend over too, right? I go to the bathroom. I come out. My chick is digging through my boy's pockets. I'm like, whoa.
What?
I'm like, hold
were
up
the pants
now.
off or were they on
No,
him?
pants out. He was actually assed out on the sofa.
Okay.
Because it's turkey day.
It's a
you know?
detail.
Like,
We need
ate
that
a
detail.
lot.
You guys
Yeah.
got it in.
What was she looking for?
I think she was looking
Evidence?
for some party favors when all she had to do was speak up and be like, yo, what's going on?
We're
I'm
at
like-
Sweet Potato Cam's house. I mean, come on, just speak up.
So then I was like, yo,
Yeah.
girl, you got to go.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
That is uncalled for. That ain't happening here. Bye.
Man.
And she like threw up a fit. I had I didn't touch her. I didn't like throw any force at her. But all I did literally was put my arm straight, like a stiff arm, shove her out the door. Boop.
You know,
Bye.
I reminded of a story. We brought these two cougars home in St. Clair Shores
Whoa.
back in the day.
Okay.
And they were obsessed with my dog Otis. He was a puppy at the time. And like they're there for an hour and then they're putting their shoes on. They're sitting by the door and it's winter. I'm like, where's my dog?
Yeah.
Where's my dog? And something struck me and this woman had my dog under her jacket ready to steal my dog.
She must say, Woody?
What
not
the fuck?
Woody. This was
Wow.
Otis. This is way back in the day, but
Woody
Otis
Otis.
Redding Day Wells.
Shout out, man.
Ooh,
I don't think
dig
I haven't had any crazy girlfriends.
Cap.
Like, no, hear me out. You gotta let me. You gotta hear me out. Like the girlfriends, I haven't necessarily put that term out there a lot. So the girlfriends were all
Okay.
fine. Now girls, I had a lot of crazy girl situations over the league. I mean,
They thought they were
I
girlfriends.
played in the NFL. Like it comes to the territory.
They thought they were girlfriends.
100%. I had this one girl one time. Like I went out of town. I was kind of dating loosely, if you will. I went out of town and call her or car situation. I beat her out the house. I said, yeah, I'm going to Vegas. Your car will be here about 45 minutes or so. See you later. It wasn't a good experience. I never planned on talking to her again. I guess she felt the same energy. Don't you know when I got back from Vegas, which was 6 days later, she was still at my house. She was still at my house. This was 2008. Still at my house.
Posted.
Like nothing had happened. Like she wasn't supposed to go home 6 days ago.
Did
like
she
we
watch
didn't
the
have
game
an
at
awful
least?
time.
Did she watch the game at least? I mean, if she had like a report of your game and like, hey man, great,
Well, it wasn't even a
great
game, though. Like,
outing,
it was-
six for 120.
No,
2
Vegas.
tutties?
It was off season. This is
Oh.
chill. Like I'm gone. It's off season. I'm in Vegas. I may not even come back to Cleveland. I may come back to Detroit or go to Miami. But she stayed there. All I know is
She would have stayed there a month if you didn't come back.
I got a lot of those crazy stories, but we don't have enough
There's a lot
time.
of crazy stories in the chat, but we don't have time.
We're going to get to some of them. We definitely want to get to some. Keep those crazy girlfriend stories. Crazy boyfriends, too, because guess what? They're nuts as well.
Yes.
They're nuts as well. Yesterday, I missed work. I had an opportunity to play in the NFL alumni outing for yet a 8th year in a row. Had a lot of fun. We did not take the crown down. I think a lot of people are cheating on their handicap scores, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to be that guy. But it was a lot of fun. Had a chance to talk to some fun individuals, some former Lions. But before we get there, how about you see some of these shots and you let me know what you think? Because I'm always coming up here talking about the golf game, but now we got a couple angles and a couple videos to prove that I do be on that course. Justin, if you will. See what we got right here. Okay. What is this, the iron shot? It's par 3, about 140 yards. Nice and smooth. Look at that nice thing.
what'd you
Woo! Look at the tracker shot
What'd
to
you do?
B-Lad on the
Be
video.
good. Just be the right number.
Spin down.
Go down.
Oh,
spin down.
Fucking
So
ball.
yeah, that shot like spun right by the post.
Oh my goodness.
Probably like based on your reactions, you could tell, but that was like really close to being a hole in one. I thought he did it at first. Not gonna lie.
Look at that. That's over the water. It's a 235 shot to get to the pin. I used a 5-iron, and I was probably
Well
about
struck, though,
Atta boy.
15 feet up underneath the hole. Felt really good about that shot. And this last shot, nice little chill. Trying to slow it down. Feel good if you will. See what we got. Oh, look
Go.
at that. Nice
Go.
scoop.
That was
Go.
a good swing.
It's a good swing.
Get up there.
Come on.
Go.
These
bad,
boys
Bray.
were
Good shot.
dialed in too. Like
What? we legitimately parred the first hole and then birdied 7 in a row, went in little bit of a par birdie, and then we birdied out. Finished 15 under, but because we had to give strokes back, we ended up 12.7 or 12.6. I think we finished 7th.
Did you bring your handicaps in? Why'd you have to give them back?
Because all those guys can play. They're sticks.
So they had to bring their handicaps into the game?
The lowest guy we had was like a +4.
Interesting.
So that added to mine, and we had to give strokes
Picked
back.
your game up for them boys, huh?
I had to.
Looking good out there.
I hit some bad shots, too. Don't get it twisted. Be glad you showed you the good shots. There was some BS shots as well, but...
Yeah, save some of the bad ones for us next time, right? I got a great video of him dropping a pass at the Michigan tailgate. I'm holding that for forever, man.
Well,
Bray's low lights.
The best thing about that outing outside of getting that footage, you seeing that the boy can golf a little bit and spend
a little bit.
I
Listen,
appreciate that.
man, I've been around the game a long time. Your shots are looking real good these days.
I appreciate that. The best part of yesterday, though, if you ask me, was getting a chance to talk to NFL legend. And that legend has some interesting things to say about the Detroit Lions. Take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, let's hear what number 84, Herman Moore, had to say about Isaac Teslaa and the rest of the guys, the Detroit Lions. But first, let's get a message in from
All day.
Summer, guys, it means it's IPA. India Pale Ale is what they call it. And, well, the king of IPAs is All Day IPA from our friends here at Founders. 4.7% ABV. It's going to course you throughout the day. If you're on the course or if you're at home, but it's got that citrusy, crisp, refreshing, balanced taste. Listen, it's been the king of IPAs for 15 years now for a reason. Check it out. Get yourself one, courtesy of Founders, but make sure when you get that all-day IPA, you drink it responsibly.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
Hey guys, you all ready to change your life? You guys were with us a couple weeks ago when we were over at the Mortgage Pros 4th annual block party, and we saw all kinds of people, 400 or 500 people out there who made the choice to change their life. You want to get past that ceiling above you, you want to hit the 6 figures and really change what's going on for you and your family, give them a call now. They're in Troy, 248-416-1361, or you can find out more on how to join Mortgage Pros at mtgopros.com.
And we're back. Excited to be back, man. Yesterday had a great conversation as we welcome you back to the Braylon Network Show here on Woodward Sports 2.0. Had a great conversation with Herman Moore. I've known Herman Moore for a very long time. I remember going to his camps back in the day, man, and Herm was cool, but Herm was always serious. And he's still that way in the community. He's serious, he's focused, he's dedicated. And it was cool, like being Herm's, like, you know, like Stan's son. My father, Stan, you know, played in the NFL, played for the Lions. So I got a lot of that backstage access, if you will, to these players, to these individuals. So then they treated me like a, you know, like young nephew or a little brother, if you will. Herm was one of those guys. Until I started balling at Michigan. It went from him being like, you know, my uncle and OG and what's going on, B? What's going on, Stan, son? Man, how you doing? You playing Little League ball? Okay, you going to King High School now? Then when I got to Michigan and started getting 1,000 yards year after year, it was like, yeah, you all right. I saw you out route. You know what I'm saying? You need to get a little depth on that.
Boy.
Yeah, I saw you at the point of it. Like, damn, I thought it was little bro. But great relationship. Yesterday I had a chance to ask him 3 questions. And one of the main questions I wanted to know is, you know, what did you feel was the biggest acquisition in this offseason? What was the biggest move? And, you know, the answer might surprise you from an offensive individual. Check this out. The Lions last year, disappointing finish, but it's not about the disappointment. They've made a lot of moves in the offseason to make sure that didn't happen again. What was the move that you pointed to? You were like, okay, I'm excited for 2026.
You got Aiden Hutchinson on an edge, and then now you got a young guy like Moore that's coming in, and not because of the last name, but because I really think that he can come in and be disruptive. I like just his overall athleticism and build. So, you know, you look at what they did with the draft. If they can develop the talent like they've done so far, and that's what's been key about the Lions, is the fact that they've not had to rely so heavily on free agency as much as developing guys internally based on where they drafted them, and then having those guys, you know, bear fruit. So that's what I'm looking for them. I think it'll be a good year. Forget about that 5th easiest schedule type deal. Everybody's got to line up and play.
Thank you.
People always say that, but you got to line up and play no matter what. And so that's what's going to happen with those guys.
First and foremost, like, can we take a second to admire the shape that my big brother's still in? Like, Herm, like, people talk about I look like I can still go out there and play. Herm looks like he still can lace them up, still like he did when he went out there and had 123 catches for 1686 and 14 touchdowns. If you know, you know. But I love that answer from Herman Moore, like legitimately offensive individuals. They could talk about the offense. They could talk about the offensive line. They could talk about wanting to revamp and get back to scoring, blah, blah, blah. But Anson, crew, he chose to highlight Derrick Moore. We have been clamoring for an edge here in Detroit for a very long time, and now the Lions, second round this year, they draft Derrick Moore to kind of be that guy, to go opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, as you said. What do you feel Derrick Moore can attribute to this team? Because you hear former pros clamoring for defense. He's not the only guy. I said I ran into Rob Sims. Rob Sims talked about the defense as well. What do you think it means that former pros are talking about the defense and talking about the move, Derrick Moore?
Balance. It's balance, man. I mean, we got this great offense. We got all kinds of Maseratis and Ferraris all over the place. Got a hell of a line. And it looks to be back in good form again this year. And the fact is the defense has let this team down, and that has to be addressed. That's why we've all been screaming for the edge here, whether it's through trade or free agency. We finally go and get him. And then the other thing is, it's not a guy that you don't know about. It's a guy that you already love here in town. So on top of that, when you look at his clips, I mean, Derrick Moore is an animal, man. He's going to come in here and he's going to be fantastic. And you finally talking about balance, giving some balance to that defensive edge, you know, because you've had Hutch carrying all the weight, all on his shoulders, facing double teams, triple teams even at times. Derrick Moore is going to change all of that. It brings a lot of balance to this team.
Yeah, I definitely like balance. I mean, you look at the Detroit Lions, like the 2 times that they had defenses, it was the year that people keep clamoring for, 2013. We got cheated. We got this. We got that. You had a bit of a defense there. You have Ziggy Ansah. You have Indomitian. You have Nick Fairley. You have DeAndre Levy. And then you had it back in the day with Chris Philbin when you got to the NFC Championship. Justin, you've watched Derrick Moore throughout his whole career at the University of Michigan. You know who this player is. You know what he's learned under Wink Martindale. You know what he's learned under Jesse Minter. What do you truly feel a guy like that, 21 sacks in his career over 3 years, 10 last year, what can he provide to this defense, and how can he help number 97?
He is, in college, was an absolute game changer. He would make huge play after huge play. I mean, you look at the run to the national championship, he made one of the biggest plays to stone Jalen Milroe at the goal line.
Yes, sir.
And so when you have players like that, those are the guys that translate to the next level. It's not just his build. It's not just his athleticism. He has a mind for the game of football. He's in the right place. He's able to line up in multiple different techs. He has to improve as a run defender, but as a pass rusher, he is a very good pass rusher. And Braylon, let's not forget, this is the type of guy who was being talked about as a first-round pick, elite talent going into last year's absolute debacle. Yeah. This could end up being one of those really nice second-round steals that you can get a every down defensive edge from, because of the fact that he is so experienced and he has the athleticism and build to develop as a run defender, especially when he's not asked to do that much next to Hutch and in a rotation with Wanham. That's why I really like the spot that Derrick Moore is being plopped into. He's not being asked to do everything on this defense. He's being asked to play a role and do what he needs to do to make plays, and that's where he gives me the confidence that he's going to be a very solid player this year and then a very good veteran player when he gets down the line.
Absolutely, and the best thing about what you said is it's Kelvin Shepherd being able to put him in the best situation to make plays. B-Lab bringing you in on this. I heard from somebody through the grapevine, in my inside, my sources, or like Anson likes to say, my source. I heard from my sources one of the big things last year is you saw the first half of the season. You brought this up, Justin. Going into that season, he was already listed as one thing. And then when you get into a season, Wink Martindale never changed his defense. And it caused a lot of frustration up there. It caused a lot of frustration with the players not adjusting, not adapting, like Mentor did, like McDonald did. He didn't adapt. He didn't adjust. And you got defensive players fighting with Martindale. In the second half of the season, you saw a lot of those guys doing their own thing. You saw a lot of those guys getting on their own page. Talk about when you don't have the right coach, when you don't have the right buy-in, like it leaves guys stranded. And that's how he got to us in the second round.
No, it does for sure, and it definitely impacts the way that they play on the field as well. And another thing about Derrick Moore, if they learn how to develop him, like you said, he's played under coaches that have had that NFL experience and are having success currently in the NFL too. So that's another thing too, is he's a coachable player. And if the Lions can really develop him, and obviously he's not one of the big edge rusher names as of right now, people kind of view him as kind of like a project. But I agree with the whole balance thing as well too, because we saw Hutch getting double teamed often. Teams knew how to scheme against him really easily. Derrick Moore could bring in that threat to the other side. That way it takes some pressure off of Hutch and, improves the defense greatly in all aspects as far as the pass rush goes, 100%.
Yeah, 1,000%. Anson, we'll talk a little bit later in terms of the battles that are going on in OTAs, and he's one of a highlighted battle that we'll talk a little bit later with DJ Wanham brought in from the Carolina Panthers, and now him second round brought in from University of Michigan. Now, when you watch Derrick Moore, what is your anticipation on what this team truly feels? Because if we think about it this way, this is Kelvin Shepherd's second-year defensive coordinator. This is his first really big, high defensive draft pick. Like, he didn't draft Terrion Arnold, if you will, and we know what the 2025 draft was. What do you think about that aspect?
You got to hope and pray that he hits OTAs and training camp and looks every bit the part of a steal, a guy that you have to have out on the field 75, 80% of the snaps. That's the home run. The reality is he's probably a guy that is going to start off in the 40 to 50% range, and he'll rotate with Wanham. And as you see the season progress, what you want is that November, December, January snap percentage to start looking closer to that 70%, that 75%. And what that tells you is now this guy's not losing on schemes, because physically this guy's going to win. What I've seen on his tape, even as a Michigan, hater, the guy, I don't care what helmet he wore in college because he wore it well. And he's going to do the same thing for us here. The big thing, though, is that progression through understanding his coach's schemes and whether he can handle that and not make mistakes. I think that because of the schemes that he was in under Minter, others at Michigan, I think that learning curve will happen quicker than even we hope. And that's what has to really happen for him to approach that 8-9 sack total that you'd love to see out of him.
Yeah, definitely 8-9. I'm high on him. I'm high on him this year.
You think he gets there?
I definitely think he gets there. One of the big reasons why I think he gets here, man, is look at where he comes from. And it's not because I went there. They get you to buy into the leadership. He had Jim Harbaugh when he was there. He understood with the team, and they bought into that. Also, he's not a guy that's top 10 overall, and you come in with the NIL and the attitude and the swag and the drip and all these things and don't necessarily feel like you can get better. Don't necessarily feel like, hey, you know what, I want to shadow the guy that's ahead of me because I can become better. You know what, I need to put a lot of time in Allen Park. He's going to come in humble. He's going to come in as second-round energy. I told you I got a chance to meet him, B-Lad and that was the energy that he had. Jay, I'm super excited about Derrick Moore. Actually, more now over the past month than maybe I was when the draft pick happened.
And I can absolutely see that. And one thing that I see – you guys bring up the sack numbers, and you guys are already at 8 and 9. See, for me, the season isn't going to be defined by a number on a paper for Derrick Moore.
Sure.
I want to see Derrick Moore come in, and I don't care what the snap percentage is between him and Wanham, as long as he is making an impact. And that's what I need. I need him to be growing as a run defender so that when we move off Wanham next year, we make sure that we go – and we make sure we have the right person right there to fill that hole so then he can step up into an every down role. But he needs to grow as a run defender, and then he needs to display the pass rushing technicality that he had in college to make those big plays and those big moments. And he's made big moments in the run game too. Like, let's not get mistaken, but when the rise to the NFL happens, that's where the concerns start to come in as a run defender. It wasn't exposed in college, but they're worried about the fact that it might be in the NFL.
Great super chat here from Jimmy Donald. My homeboy was a second rounder from Michigan that had a great impact and value too. Lamar Wordley.
Hey.
And we're going to tell you a little more about that super chat here in a second.
Yeah, Lamar Woodley was a hell of a player, man. Funny story about Lamar, and I think we got to pay some bills in a second, but legitimately, Lamar Woodley, I went to his high school basketball game. You know how like coaches ask you, hey, got this kid. He's coming out of Saginaw. He's elite. Why don't you come up here with me, do the sales pitch, the whole 9 yards. So I go up there, I'm talking to him, and he just was this quiet dude, super quiet, super chill. But he legitimately was built like he is now.
Yeah.
Like, and I was all right, bet. So we became friends. He slept on my couch, ate all my food, his freshman summer.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, when he got on that field, sometimes the quiet ones, man, they pack the biggest punch.
Yeah.
They carry the biggest stick at you, 100%. So shout out to Lamar Woodley, and that's a hell of a situation. The only difference is Lamar is one of those players. Everybody in that first round wish they would have took a chance on Lamar Woodley. Story is still out on Derrick Moore. We'll get more back, and also too.
Yeah. Let me set you up for that one.
We got something maybe for you.
Yeah. Okay. There's 3 things from now on, guys, and it is smash, share, and super. All right. Smash the likes, getting us over 100 every single day. Share the stream. That's the deal now. Share the stream. And then super chat, but we told you we've been neglecting you, so this guy went out and hooked y'all up.
Who's this guy? We're talking about Derrick Moore?
Well, both of you, actually. Well done. Bang! There it is.
Autograph Derrick Moore football. It is up for you guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much. You're absolutely right. We talked about the super chats and all that, and we spoiled you, and we took it absolutely away 1,000%. This was signed by Derrick Moore when I went up there to the UMC event. And this is when I fell in love with his character, his personality, and what I think he can be for the team. Get the super chats up. Anson will do his thing on this. And
all week, guys.
All week. Friday, we will do the big reveal. Excited for this, excited for you, and excited to see what he can do. Once again, let's pay some bills. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. 2,700 gyms around this country. This is the gym for you. It's everywhere. That's why it is no judgment, home of the judgment-free zone. Then there's trainers on staff, and then there is squeakiness wherever you go. That's because the gyms are clean. You want to go somewhere where it's clean, where you feel comfortable. Well, that's Planet Fitness. Come on down. Starting your journey will take you. Continuing your journey will take you. And if you want to excel your journey, look no further than Planet Fitness, where your fitness is and will always be essential.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Whether you're buying a home or refinancing, you know who you should do it with. Estates Title Agency and my boy in the B-side. They do it the best because they got over 20 years of experience in the game, man, so they know what the heck they are talking about. The best thing about it is they want to make things simple. They want it to be convenient. Simplicity, convenience. These are words that I can get behind. These are words that I need. And then also, too, man, they will pull up on you. They want to continue to make it convenient, pull up on you. They have late-night closings as well as weekend closings by appointment. The B-side has over 20 years of expertise. It means they can guide any title and any escrow. They can guide it to a safe, smooth landing. Let these guys be the people for you, man. For all your title needs, call Mr. Deeds. And welcome back into the Braylon Network Show. I'm loving the graphics. I'm loving the tech behind it, man. I'm loving the fillers on the side. It looks amazingly good, man. I see you over there, Jay, adding that value to the show. Shout out to JS.
No problem, Bray. Anything for you, superstar.
You know what? You're the superstar, man. We're all superstars. This is the crew. It just happens to have my name on the show, but you know it's all our shows. The Herman Moore conversation yesterday was a great one, man. It was a fun one. He really got a chance. He was excited. Like, I only asked him 3 questions. He only gave me, I only need about 4 minutes, but he was excited for this year. He was excited for the players, and he didn't hold anything back. He didn't BS. That's one thing about these players. They're very honest. Isaac Teslaa is a name that continues to come up here in Detroit. Last year, 3/3 were giving or used to acquire him, and then throughout the season, we didn't necessarily see him play like we wanted to, or him play like he's shown he could. 1,000%. Because we saw enough. Yeah, we saw what he did in the preseason. We saw what he did in Green Bay. We saw the plays. Well, give us more. Well, here's Herman Moore talking about what that more could be for Isaac Teslaa. How much fun would you have in today's NFL, man? It doesn't seem like at the line of scrimmage they could do much. They seem a little bit different in this day and age. How much fun would you have?
I would love it because it's a lot of free release.
Yeah.
You know how it is. You know, you have to work off the line of scrimmage a little bit differently. And even though the corners come up and they think they're being aggressive, you know, when you're a big receiver, you just pick your side and go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I would love it. And the defensive backs that think I'm playing, listen, be a field day.
You see him do it too.
It'd be Chuck E. Cheese.
100%. You know what that is? Full of games and toys. Conversation about today's NFL. I want to know because we're big wide receivers. What's it like today's game? Because they literally don't press at the line of scrimmage. Wanted to get that out of him, but we still do have. Do we have the Teslaa soundbite?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah. But
that was the wrong one, queued.
Let me hop into a super chat here from Michael Wary. $2. Appreciate the like, please. Guys, smash that like button and share the stream. Herman, he wants to know what his thoughts of this year's team are. Did you get any of that from Herman? Was he high or low on the team this year? I mean, he's always high on the team, right?
Yeah, he's high on the team, but it wasn't like BS. It wasn't like, oh yeah, they're going 15-2, or they're going 17-0, like some people here. Nah, that's not what it was. The conversation was like, I understand what last year was, but look at the moves that are being made. Look at the intention that's played on this, and also a lot of the same things that you guys in the chat talk about. He says, look at the players we have. Look how they have drafted. They are all pros on this roster. This roster is too good to do what it did last year, and so they added a little bit of help. So he's excited for what this year can be. But one of the big things he said, you heard him on that video, he said, stop talking about the 5th place schedule. Stop talking about it because it can get you in trouble. But the Isaac Teslaa conversation is one that's very, very high on all of our minds. And here is what he had to say about Isaac Teslaa. You know who it is, Braylon Edwards, the Braylon Edwards Show, Woodward Sports 2.0. Have a special guest legend for you today out here at Walnut Creek Country Club for the NFL alumni outing. Got the man, the myth, the legend, Herman
man.
Moore. What's going on?
Hey,
one of the
man.
baddest brothers you will ever see, one of the coldest Lions of all time. You talk about the big wide receiver. Well, the Lions have one of their own. And Isaac Teslaa, what do you think this year could be for Isaac, year 2, big wide?
You know, I really like him, man. I'm actually glad you brought him up because, you know, with Isaac, man, he's just the missing piece. I think you always got to have that playmaker. You got to have a guy that even if he's covered, he's open. And when you can have that, and we got balls coming through here.
Literally, that's on tape.
But listen, so you know, when you have somebody like Teslaa, man, that can come in and he could be covered, but you know, he's an outlet, he's an option. But also, I like the fact that you know he's showing that he's ultra productive with very few touches, and when you can have that kind of efficiency, man, the more you can dial it up. But you got to keep the consistency and spread it out to the other guys. But I think with him, man, he's going to be that key piece that gives another dimension to the offense.
And this is real. And this is why the conversation was one that I know you guys want to have, and it was a good question. Like, we are clamoring to see what can Isaac Teslaa be. Last year when they showed him, I'm talking about spectacular catches, going up for the ball, making plays when they counted on him. There was one play at the end of the year I know we want to point to, but, you know, like T.O. said, when you wait until the fourth quarter to throw a ball, man, what you think I'm going to do? I'm just joking. But we are excited for Isaac Teslaa. There's a reason why. You see the one-hand catch right here on the back screen. But I think there are other things to his game that he can evolve into, and that's where I'm excited for it this year.
I mean, he has the opportunity to be a giant and fast possession receiver beyond just your jump ball guy. We obviously are excited about him getting downfield and blocking. He loves to do that. And you've seen plenty of his usage on those long third downs in the red zone. This, to me, is kind of what we've seen with J-Mo. Can J-Mo develop into a technician and a route runner and use that speed to create true separation so he's not just your Y, you're sending down the field? That's the evolution that I think we're going to see out of this guy. I think that when they went and they looked at his film at Hillsdale and Arkansas, they saw a guy that can do a lot more than what we allowed him to do last year. And we really only allowed him to do one thing, well, maybe two. Block and catch those jump balls.
Yeah, I'm excited. Realistically, I'm excited for Isaac Teslaa, and this is why. When you get in the red zone, give the man a shot. When you get on the 5-yard line, give the man a shot. Hell, when you're first and 10 at the 20-yard line going out, give the man a shot. He provides the one thing that we don't have in the wide receiver core. Amon-Ra St. Brown, as great as he is not going up for 50-50 balls. Jamison Williams, as great as he is with the speed, as great as he is, as soon as you put the ball in his hands, he's out of here. He's not going up for 50-50 balls. When you have an individual like Teslaa, talk about it, B-Lad, he can make a lot of those plays, and even if he doesn't make the play, you know what happens? You get a little bit of laundry. Talk about a flag, which means you get to move the ball down the field, which means you get to move the ball to the 1-yard line. Now it's first and goal. That's where he can be very, very, very helpful this year.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry.
I was really going to – it's all good. I'm glad I
got excited.
I'm glad we were on the same page when it came to especially like the red zone, fade balls, that kind of stuff, you know. And his perimeter blocking was also on par last year. He was very, very impactful in the run game nonetheless. But I feel like a lot of good teams, especially when they're successful passing the ball, they always have that receiver to bail you out. Like on those hard counts. Like if Goff gets a hard count and he wants to throw it up, Teslaa is the one he's looking for. Obviously, you have J-Mo to take the top off with the speed, kind of more over the middle and on a lot of crossing routes. And then you got Amon-Ra, who's a route technician in the middle of the field, mainly in the slot. We have seen Amon-Ra have some contested catches and make some good plays on the outside, on the perimeter as well. But Teslaa can be your like predominant Y guy. Like if you need a reliable back shoulder fade when it's down in distance, like you had just mentioned, he can be the one to do that, and he needs to do it at a high clip as well. The only thing that we didn't see from him at all was his availability on the field, as well as his route running. Yes, could definitely improve. We did see him kind of working over the middle, especially on some like more flat routes. I remember against Cincinnati, he scored a touchdown on a flat route, which was a very good route by him, and he was kind of schemed open, and that's what they kind of treated him as last year, as more of a scheme guy.
Yeah.
But definitely this year, I think they're going to give him more of the creative freedom and give Goff a more reliable Y. Like they can just like, if he needs a bailout, he can bail him out with Isaac Teslaa.
Yeah, Isaac Teslaa has something like, 30 catches and 6 touchdowns?
Yeah, exactly. We just didn't see a lot of him last year, but when he was on the field, he was making a direct impact.
That ratio is a lot. Satawa, let me ask you this question. Like, realistically, are we putting too much on what Isaac Teslaa can be? Because legitimately, we saw a little bit of him. We saw some, big plays, and it's like, oh, man, this guy's going to be this, that, and the third. Are we putting too much on his capabilities?
A little bit, but at the same time, like, there are visible signs of elite traits with him. Like, he has elite jump ball ability. He has elite hands. If he can become a better route runner, and, who better to learn from than one of the best route runners in the league, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he can take that and, can he become a threat in the inside of the field, running, crossers and ins and 15, that specialty golf throw, that 15-yard in, that intermediate. That's where we need another weapon there, other than Sam Laporta. Like, Sam Laporta is one of the best at the game at getting that ball from Jared Goff. Pause. But we need more than that. We need more weapons in the inside of the field so that when you're looking at this Lions offense spread out on the field, it's impossible to guard them because you have Saint, who is controlling that, that in between the sideline and middle of the field area, that middle third. And then you'll hopefully have Teslaa and Laporta owning that middle of the field. And then you have J-Mo owning the outside of the field. And then you throw Gibbs everywhere in between, and you become just an impossible defense to guard, especially with the way that Jared Goff can't play point guard when he's asked to.
Very balanced.
I think another thing, too, that's fun is for Jared Goff, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, not saying it has to be perfect, but it's the perfect zone. He has to find that spot. He has to get that feel, if you will. Same thing with J-Mo. J-Mo's down the field. It's what time do I throw it? Do I throw it now? Do I throw it when? With Jared Goff, with Jared Goff to Isaac Teslaa, it's like, hey, look, man, I'm going to throw it in this spot. Hey, make something happen. I'm going to throw it in this area. A lot of players in these high-powered offenses, like the Los Angeles Rams, like the Seattle Seahawks, like these teams that are getting to the dance, they got players you just throw it up and hope for something, and it tends to come down. He could be that guy for us. In fact, he is that guy for us.
He's the only guy for that. You mentioned it before. We don't have any size in this receiving core. Laporta is your tight end, has size, but that goes with being a tight end. When you look on the edges and you look in the slot, we just don't have anybody. It's all predicated on speed and hands. This guy has both of those. I love that you're excited about seeing him in the red zone, but to his point, Justin's, and something I spoke on, I want to see this guy become a big option as your possession receiver as well. Just middle of the field, like you guys just mentioned, third down and 6. Everybody's looking at ASRB at that point. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I need to see that guy that you can just put it up, but it doesn't have to always be the red zone.
You know what I love about this too, man, is how I got on the field in terms of when I was at University of Michigan B-Lad, like I know you're going to agree with this. It was blocking. Yeah. Like, Lloyd Carter didn't care nothing about my athletic ability.
No block,
this,
no
that,
rock.
and the third. What? 100%. Yep. No block, no rock. My freshman year, I had to figure out, you know what? If I want to get on the field, I got to be able to block. I got to be able to block. So I started blocking, wanted to be a great blocker. Sophomore year, you see that. But you know what happens when you block? You know what happens? Now, when Teslaa comes in the game, they're thinking, he's coming in to block. Oh, they're bringing him in as a jumbo package. Oh, they're bringing him as 12 personnel on this yard line. You start to see tendencies. He's not coming in just to block, ladies and gentlemen. He's also coming in and play wide. I think that's where you'll get the advantage this year.
And that's another thing, too, to kind of add on to Justin's point as well on, like, the Sam Laporta thing. Kind of relatable. Yeah, very good point. In today's NFL, in these high-powered offenses, you see a lot of plays schemed up against how the defense is going to look. So, for example, you won't have a designated route on a certain play. You'll have a spot to get to, and you have an option to kind of feel around, and you make the decision on where you're going to go. And that's where Goff, I think, is like very, very, very efficient with that. And obviously his main guys were St. Brown and Laporta in that aspect as well. Obviously you have, your base plays where you have designated routes for a specific play, especially if there's a lot of movement around the offensive line or any motions like that. But Isaac Teslaa can definitely fit in a role like that because he's a big body guy. He can feel out a zone. If it's a cover 2, he's over the middle, sitting down in the flats. Like, if we can get more guys like that as well, that creates so much more balance in this offense in general, because I know they were treating J-Mo like that at a specific point too last year, and obviously Gibbs can do it as well. But if we can establish that to its full potential and have Teslaa as another option in that aspect, then we're going to be green, and I'm excited for that.
I'm looking at last year's snap counts, and Teslaa at no point played half of a game until week 13. That's when Khalif went down. We lost Amon-Ra for a little bit of that game. He plays 92% in that game.
The Eagles.
And then 77%, that's week 13. I'm sure somebody can find that. But then Khalif comes back, but Teslaa stays on the field. 63%, 55, 52, and 60 through the final 4 weeks of the season. To your point, I do think that there's going to be a lot of that thinking that he's coming out there to block. But if you have him out there for 70, 80+% of these snaps, people are not going to know what you're using him for. And he's going to be catching defenses off guard all year long. And that is truly what we saw, his impact at the last month of the season. The guy was doing stuff all over the field. Early on, when he came in, you knew it was one thing. It was in a third down or a goal line territory, or he was blocking for sure.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, man, it's like, I don't want to get hit by this guy on a block on a run play, but if I don't pay attention, big man's going to run right by me.
Do we have enough rocks to go around?
That's a great question.
That's really.
man.
Do we have enough rocks to go around? I mean, you look at it, you're going to have a healthy Sam Laporta, and we saw how much the value of him was when he was out last season. Isaac Teslaa should have a much better year than he did last year because they should use him more. And then we just talked about what J-Mo is. J-Mo's gotten better each year. This is another year for him to get better. And St. Brown is St. Brown. Are there enough rocks to go around? Don't forget about the running back.
No, and listen, Greg Dortch didn't come here to sit the bench either.
Correct.
That guy's going to get used. Laporta is absolutely huge in what you do, especially for that running game. But Jahmyr Gibbs, I just saw somebody in the chat like he's going to lead the NFC in rushing touchdowns. No, but he might lead the NFC in all-purpose touchdowns because he's used so much in the passing game as well. Teslaa, man, everybody here, we want to see him get to that 50-plus catches, and that's going to require 80 targets probably. I don't think that there is, but you have the quarterback that he's not going to focus on anybody, and you have a receiving corner team that is okay with not getting the ball a lot. But it comes from Amon-Ra. He's going to be the first guy that's going to be giving up touches, and I think that he is the guy that's okay with it as long as they win.
Yeah, real talk, man. Amon-Ra's had his fair share of being 1,400 yards, 170 targets, this and the third, all-pro, et cetera, all the gifts, all the glam, blah, blah, blah. He's a winner and wants to win. He takes it very seriously. He wants to win. If he has to sacrifice, 200-300 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns for the betterment team, he is definitely the right guy for their job. So we'll see what happens with that, but it is going to be interesting. Drew Petzing, Mike Kafka, what do you have for Isaac Teslaa? Commercial break. Let's talk about Black Rock Bar and Grill, which is a sizzle above the rest. Looking for a perfect spot to host your next party or get together, head to Black Rock Bar and Grill. It's the home of the Steak on the Stone. Event space is cracking. Graduations, proms, watch parties, everything is going on. And this is a place that you should do it at. The food is amazing. The service is top-notch. And they have locations all around the state. For your inquiries, go to blackrockrestaurants.com or simply put, just pull up. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Know I get excited for this read because you guys know that I love me some Loom. Like I say every day, let us be your plug. When you head on over to loom.com, you can use that code that you see there, WSN30, or you can just scan that QR code. It's going to take you right there. Or you can go to one of their 40-plus locations in the great state of Michigan. And again, mention WSN 30, and you get that pure Michigan green from them, guys. Or you can get the Buzz and Energy. Justin is addicted. Either way.
I wouldn't say addicted.
Yeah, you are. He's addicted. He loves them, man. It's summertime. He's going to be back in. You'll love them too, guys. The Buzz and they're wild. But listen, head on over to loom.com.
Only thing Justin Satawa is addicted to is being great. Shout out to my guy over there.
Thank you, sir.
He's pretty addicted to those buzzes, man. At least last summer he was.
Addicted is a strong word, though.
It is.
Well, okay.
It's a strong
I would say
word.
I have a strong like for that.
You are okay. We can't even say hooked. Eh?
Yeah,
you're acting like I drink them every day. Like
you were last summer.
No,
you were drinking them on the business, man.
Well, yeah, because they were just at every live event that we were ever at. Like, why would I not indulge?
And
they're right there.
They're fantastic. Let's just be real.
How's everybody's week going? Is it smooth week? I know it's day 2.
Glad to have you back, Braylon.
You know what? There it is.
It's going all right. It's going all right.
How's
Mom's
Mom's
is doing pretty good. She had a second procedure and is back home, so full recovery mode now. And
good stuff.
Big blessings up to Moms. Love you.
100%, man. Love you, Mom. I'm glad that God is providing for you guys and that for Anson. How you feeling over there, man?
I can't complain, man. I'm actually a little excited about all this rain that's coming right now.
Oh, you got a garden situation?
Tropical. No, it's just the windows down, listening to the smell coming through the house.
You can't say that word. That's a negative
windows
word.
down is bad too?
No, window.
Oh,
whenever you say window, people yell at it. Window
up.
There you go. 1,000%. One thing you heard Herm talk about was the errors. I asked him the question, like, what were you doing this error? That's just because they have a lot of free release at the line of scrimmage. I know big receivers like myself and Herm, we'd have killed it and destroyed. But thinking of the different errors, like, I'm excited that he said defense, and it makes me think about something. Just think of the offenses that we had here. Think of the offensive players. Think of the good offense that we had. Think
Long
of the
list.
Even when we had Scott Mitchell putting up numbers. Hell, I saw Kirk Kidner throw for 4,700 yards here in Detroit, if you will. But not a lot of defense to point to. The 2 times I think the Lions have had really good defense, NFC Championship 91 season, and then also 2013 when we came up short, maybe due to the Zebras or not necessarily enough by your quarterback in the 4th. That is a big thing. Like, we have never had good defenses as a whole. Hell, how many linebackers have we had?
Well, how many
DBs have we had?
I mean, like, who's your number 1 DB? Dre Bly? Not while he was here.
Yeah, Brian Westbrook, Dre Bly, and
Ray Crockett for a game?
And Slay as he was becoming the best version of himself. Shout out to Quinn Tricia. Goodbye.
Robert Porsche.
1,000%.
Fantastic.
1,000%.
Obviously, Spielman, the
How many
architect.
linebackers? Is one linebacker. Like, that's the position I wanted this year.
Reggie
linebacker.
Brown almost.
Yeah, it's just not a lot of defensive players to point to. The 2013 season, you had a defense that you can name. You had a defense that you could believe in. You had a defense that was ranked there, and it helped, and you saw how good that team could be. That's what I think the Lions are starting to understand. I think that's what this year's draft mixed in with the 23 draft and a little bit of the offseason, they're really starting to understand. You got to have both.
Complement that offense.
Just as much as we talk about the offense, the numbers, wide receivers, 5,000-yard quarterbacks, the points, etc. Defense still wins championships because last time I checked, the best defense in the league last year was the Seattle Seahawks. Yep. They won the Super Bowl.
That's how it works.
The number 2 defense in the league was the Denver Broncos, and they would have been in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for their quarterback potentially getting hurt. Defense is important as ever and always will be.
I just don't understand why this ownership has never, ever gotten that. We were asking Justin during the break, like, what defense stands out to you? He had no answers.
Yeah.
And for a young guy, when we asked him the other side of that question, what offense? Well, he can remember a bunch, even though he wasn't around for them, because we have had great offense, because we've put offensive players into the Hall of Fame. And the fact is this team, this current iteration of your Lions, they have been plagued by the same thing.
Yeah.
Great offenses, and then whether it's by injury or ricocheted passes, the defense has let this team and this franchise and the city down. So I love to hear.
failed this city.
That's right. I love to hear Herman more excited about a defensive draft pick, because literally 1 or 2 guys that step up on defense this year, and you actually get that top 8 defense for a full season, and you pair it with this offense, Super Bowl.
Also, too, even with that, man, like everybody always said, well, Kendall Vildor wasn't necessarily his fault, this, that, and the third. I'm not even mad at Kendall Vildor. I'm mad at the fact that Kendall Vildor was a DB on the play.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, that's what we're getting
It never
away
happens.
from. Like, I'm excited to see what Keith Abney Jr. will be. I'm excited to see what the direction of the secondary will be under Kelvin Shepard, because you got to do better if you want to do better.
Abney got some hype going on. And he's got a battle in front of him, too.
And he has a battle in front of that. Jay, with that being said, do we want to switch to that conversation, OTAs and battles, or do we want to get into something that I think that people are still very excited about, which is a conversation about their former captain for the Detroit
Why don't I
Red
throw
Wings?
up a poll during this break?
Yep, let's do that. Polly, do you want to talk about Dylan Larkin and the teams now and what that situation is? Because there's still a lot of meat on that bone, if you will. Or do you want to stick with the Lions conversation, and do you want to talk about some of these OTA battles? Because there's 6. I really think there's only 3, but there are 6 going on. Tell us what you think. We'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it'll be on you and what you guys want. First, let's get a message in. Sweet Potato Cam, it's your turn to shine.
Talk about daddies.
It's your turn.
It is time to put down that afternoon coffee and get up on Thrive Energy pouches. This ain't your daddy's dip. It's tobacco-free, nicotine-free, mental powerhouse of clean, smart energy. No crash, no jitters. Thrive can be found online at dipstop.com. Remember to use that promo code WSM for 15% off your entire order, found exclusively at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. Thrive Clean Energy. They flip and work, y'all.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Two Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
We're excited to add Water Hazard to the bullpen from our friends at Founders Brewing. 15 years in the game, and they waited to the perfect opportunity to introduce you to the first vodka canned drink for them. It is the very first drink. It is called the Water Hazard. 5% ABV, citrusy, refreshing, and it is gluten-free. It is the bright blue drink, 1,000%. Best served over ice with a slice of lemon, preferably, if you will. So next time you're out, get a drink with the water. Like I said, the Water Hazard is refreshing. It is citrusy. Summer is here. This is a perfect chill vibe on the golf course or at home on your own patio, deck. Just enjoy it, but drink responsibly.
Football wins again, my friend.
I'm going to tell you like this. What would that news do to you? Welcome back to the second hour of the show. Getting reports, just like we did last week, and it may not be true, but I think it might be. Aaron Donald comes back to the Los Angeles Rams. What does that do for you? Go.
I don't even want to talk about it. That's what it does for me. I mean, we already got to deal with Myles Garrett and everybody in Detroit and at the network melting down. All right. Now you're going to add Aaron Donald to the meltdown, dude? It's going nuclear. Like, I that's a conversation. Yeah. That's a whole week. I don't want to be in for, Bray. Yeah. It's not like they're in the AFC. And it's not like their quarterback is some guy we don't know.
this is one of those situations. It'd be funny to listen to Dan Campbell at the podium and see how he would respond to.
I'll give you that.
Last week,
give you that.
1,000%. But I don't think it'd be a nothing burger for them. It'd be a nothing burger because he already had played on the team. He is what he is, and you still got to get to January to have that battle. But when you got somebody like Aaron Donald, who's one of the best defensive players of all time, that you have on speed dial just in case for these moments, break glass, it's a bit tough over there, JS and Sweet Potato. But you'll be all right.
All right, so let's hop on some of these super chats because some of you got the memo that we are giving away a free Derrick Moore autographed football right here. Chris got the munchies because he went to Loom.
Shout out to Chris. And
$20 super chat.
There we go.
All right, that's what is that? That's going to be.
Explain the wheel to him.
That's going to be So for every $2, you get a spot on the wheel, and then every 10 instead of just 5, we give you 6. So for 20, you just got 12, my man. And he said, "What up, though?" He was watching Shannon Sharp podcast where they talk about their first moments, getting their first big NFL check. Braylon, what were your feelings when you got your first big check, and what was your worst purchase? Guys, keep those super chats coming in and smash the like.
Realistically, my feelings were excited because I knew I had the opportunity to change my family's trajectory. I knew I had the opportunity to help out some of my family, some of my friends, just my neighborhood, give back to the community. Detroit poured so much into me, man, so I wanted to be able to do that. So the feeling was that. So, all right, cool. I got some money. My family will be good, and we can do some good and give back. The dumb purchase was the first purchase I made, man. Second purchase. First purchase, bought Mom a home. Shout out to Mom. I love you. You know what time it is. Got to hold it down. But I bought a Bentley Coupe, and it was a beautiful car. Called it Black Beauty. It was amazing engineering machine. And I'm talking about, that's why I say me and Chauncey are connected at the hip. Love my big brother. Don't care what happens, what you go through. Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. But that's my guy. That's my brother. He had a silver Continental GT when they won in 2004. And I went to those games. And then after I was done with Michigan, I said, man, I like this car. He said, hey, bro, you should get one, man. It's just a bad thing. He said, you should wait, though. I told you, he always gave me good advice. He said I should wait. I went out and purchased it. It's $200 and more after taxes. I wish I would have waited on that car, but
how was the resale value?
You can't tell. I shouldn't have sold it.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't have sold it. You're gonna commit that kind of money to a first purchase like that.
It's a collector's item.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have sold it. I sold it and got. I don't even want to tell you. Know,
shout out Black Beauty.
100% shout out Black Beauty, man. She gave me totally great memories, man. But
shout out Mike G in the chat.
Mike G's in the chat.
$2 super chat.
Is he talking about Aaron Donald?
He's talking about us.
Okay, shout out.
The Braylon and Anson show is fantastic.
I see you. Oh, the Braylon and Anson show. I see you out here.
A lot of love out there for the Braylon 2.1 show, as we were calling it yesterday. Christian Booher, this is Michael Weary coming back again, $5 here. We'll get back into that Lions chat. Christian Booher says Borum will have a significant role because he has allowed 15 total pressures in 16 games and just 2 sacks. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I said he was very good in the pass game, struggling in the run game, if you will. So there's an element to that. We can get into that.
Why don't we start off with that OTA battle, in fact?
We can get into that, but I still think there's some meat on the Aaron Donald bone. I know I tried to dismiss that, but this is a real situation. You're talking about a guy that's coming off of being Defensive Player of the Year 3 years ago? Like, as soon as 3 years ago, won a Super Bowl 3 years ago, just retired, still stays in shape. We watch him all year long online, especially in all-season training. Current studs, current all-pros. Gerard Verse one of those guys. You also saw him work out with Myles Garrett and some other people. Now he's not working out with Myles Garrett. He's playing with Myles Garrett. So I think bringing back that leadership, bringing back what he is, he's clamoring more. Like, this is a bigger story than just, Ndamukong Suh coming back to play with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023.
No, and I have the report right here, Bray. It's tweeted by Evan Sidri, but it's from Adam Schefter report. Aaron Donald is more likely than not to unretire soon and sign with the Rams on a 1-year deal to join Myles Garrett, per Adam Schefter.
Like, there it is.
Just one name.
There it is. I mean, you can tell he wanted to come back. You can watch him. He's intent. He's trying to come back. Now you get Myles Garrett. You get excited. You don't have to be the focal piece. Aaron Donald, and that's the other thing. Aaron Donald doesn't have to come back and be Aaron Donald if he's coming back. He doesn't come back to 20 sacks. He doesn't have to come back to 80%.
Great point.
80% user rate. He's coming back. Shoot, give me 30 plays. Give me 35 plays a game. Give me 20 plays a game. Give me 25 plays a game. Give me situational moments. Having that in your arsenal, having that as somebody that you can depend on. Pull up his stats from his last season if you get.
That's where I'm headed right now.
Yeah, pull up his stats his last season. I want to say his last season was a 2024 season. What did he do?
Well, my question for you while I'm bringing these up is, how far did they go last year if he's there? Because that was the thing plaguing them was their defense. Does he make that big of a difference? Now, at the same point, you got to love it for him because he just gets to take a dang year off. And actually, no, he did not play in 24.
23.
Yeah, so 24 he was off, but his last year he played 16 out of 17 games. He had 8 sacks.
That's more than enough.
53 tackles, 28 solo tackles for loss somewhere around
16.
So, yeah,
23 quarterback hits.
And you're talking about, and that's, I'm glad you phrased it the way you phrased it. Because a lot of people will look at him like, oh, yeah, he's been out 2
AP
years.
All-Pro.
Exactly.
No Jared Verse on that line. I don't remember any names from that line. Maybe Brian Young, but still there. But
Byron Murphy or Young. Yeah. A lot of people will look at that and say, well, no. He's been off 2 years. He's out of the rhythm. He's out of the flow. No,
not that guy.
He's been off.
Not that guy.
Meaning he's relaxed his body, which means he's been taking care of himself, which means the aches and nicks and bruises have come down to a minimum. It means he's ready to go out there and
only
play some
35,
game.
right?
I'm telling you, like, this is scary. You asked the question. If they would have played last year, they would have got further. Even though the secondary is where they struggled on defense, you got Aaron Donald in the middle.
Secondary.
It definitely does. So this is
scary stuff.
This is a bit strong for the NFC West.
Like
I guarantee
it's a bit long for the NFL, man. Everybody
I
worried about
guarantee you
this
San
one.
Fran and Seattle like,
what do we do now?
Absolutely.
Got to make a move.
What do you mean, Braylon? San Francisco signed Mike Evans. Was he not supposed to save that franchise? Is he the receiver that they've been looking for the past 3 years to get them over the hump?
Yeah,
is that not what you're telling me, Braylon?
They're 4 years and $4 short with that Mike Evans move. I love Mike Evans. He's one of the most underrated receivers. Him and Keenan Allen probably are the 2 most underrated receivers in the last 15, 20 years or so. But Mike Evans is not going to save your franchise at this particular juncture, even though I know it was jokes. This guy right here, though, he can help. Aaron Donald. I don't want to say that seem like I'm a Rams fan. I'm excited for great players, though. But damn.
Yeah, they're going to be fun to watch.
You love Devontae Adams. That's all it is.
I do.
You don't mind seeing that team do well.
No, not at all. But this is going to be interesting, man. Aaron Donald, 3 years ago, I feel like every week we're getting Rams news around Monday, Tuesday. Like it messes up the
It literally broke
just
the
like the
network
Dylan
for 2
Larkin
days.
news. You know, there's a new thing that comes out every day, Braylon.
That's why sports is king. That's why sports is absolutely king. But what are your thoughts, B-Lad, on this, man? Aaron Donald. We know what he was. We know what he's been continuing to do. Are we making too much of this? Is he too far removed, or?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say he's too far removed, especially just because like his last couple of years that he played in the NFL, he was still dominant, and maybe a year or 2 off, he's probably he's healthy now, he's refreshed, he can come in raw. But at the same time, like, we can't discredit the impact he's made when he was with the Rams in general, and now that he can pair him up with Myles Garrett, and like even when he was there and first team All-Pro, AP All-Pro, his defensive lines weren't also bad. They had like Ashawn Robinson on the edge. They had a couple big name guys that were helping him out in the middle as well. I had him on my phone just not too long ago, but Ashawn stuck out to me because he was a former Lion, shout out. And I mean, it's just clear as day. They're just trying to stack as many pieces as possible to go sell out and get a ring. Like, that's clearly what it is.
I feel like what they're doing is taking a page out of Howie Roseman's book. Because as much as we talk about Howie Roseman, as much as we make it about what the Eagles have done, like the Howie Roseman, like that template started after they won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. And then you get a little further into 2021, 22, when they finally get back. It started then. Then they were like, you know what? Every year, let's just do this. Let's add this. Let's add this. Let's add that player. Let's add this player. Let's bring back this player. I think that's where this template is coming from, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, let's go all in. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. Why not try it?
Yeah, they don't deserve anything either. The Rams have no fans. Neither do the Chargers, and it upsets me. But.
When's the last time the Rams have had fans, realistically?
When they were in St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Yeah, big time. I remember watching a documentary about how so many people over there were so upset with the franchise and everything like that. They hate them now.
Yeah.
They're all like Chiefs fans now and stuff like that since they're in Missouri. But
I mean, they deserve
It's
to
a
be
hard
Chiefs fans,
switch.
though. I can't lie.
It's a real hard switch.
Yeah, I guess it's not, but they like literally were talking about how much they like despise the Rams. And like you even see SoFi. Like I had a couple of my buddies actually go to SoFi and watch the Lions play 2 or 3 years ago. I believe it was 3 years ago. And they were like, it was like 60% Honolulu blue in there. And we're from, like, that's a long travel. Like, that's pretty crazy to think about. And you see San Fran playing SoFi, it's all red. You know, they pump in stadium noise, but it's a massive market team, so I guess they really get to do whatever they want. They can kind of control it. So
yeah, we'll see what that Super Bowl looks like this year. All right, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. We're going to get into this Dylan Larkin thing next. I think that's where we need to move. That's where we should go. I'm excited to talk about that with Justin. But before we do that, Aaron Donald, one of the greatest Rams of all time, one of the greatest players of all time in NFL history, potentially coming back, changes the trajectory of this team this year. Give me a Detroit Lion great to come back. And you got to think about it because typically, the first two answers are always 1 and 2.
Yeah.
However, do you need 1 and 2?
Now, is it just anybody, or do they have to still be in decent physical condition in 2026?
First of all, nobody we've had in decent condition. Like, do we need it?
Well, I think Ndamukong Suh's, if it's current, who's somebody that might be able to get out. I feel like he's the first answer that everybody.
I'll let you bring them back in their prime.
Okay, I like that.
I'll let you bring them back in their prime.
That opens it up quite a bit.
So the question is like who we want on the team today.
Yeah, because all right, here we go. Realistically, the first two answers that come to mind is Barry and Calvin.
Right.
But do you need Barry right now?
No, you don't.
And that's what I'm saying. Now,
Okay.
Barry is the best back of all time, so there'll be no Barry slander over there for
If
all
we
you
had
young
Calvin-
guys. But you have Gibbs, you have a young Gibbs, you have what's going. You don't necessarily need him. Do you need Calvin in this offense?
If we had Calvin, we could trade Teslaa for 3 third-round picks.
But see, we're not doing all that. We're talking about just to have them on the field.
No, you don't need him. Not in this receiver core.
So Ndamukong for you?
Well, no, I mean,
That's a damn good one.
Ndamukong in his prime, Jerry Ball was a wrecking ball as well.
Number 93.
Loved me some 93. There's a guy that I just loved that if you put Michael Kofer on the edge as a linebacker at his prime, because that's the room that I think is thinnest here, and you put him there, or maybe William White for the first half of the season until we get our secondary healthy.
B-Lad, I hope you have something better than that.
I have 2.
Sorry, Anson.
I have 2, and I'm a younger cat, so I don't really I haven't had good defenses, just like Justin said earlier, in my entire life. But good players that were in their prime that made direct impacts. Right off the top of my head, I had Vanden Bosch, prime Ezekiel Ansah, and prime Slay, because we need a corner. We need some corner depth, especially, and if we have that standout corner, that would be huge. And edge depth obviously does not help at all. I remember when we were in the office earlier, I said DeAndre Levy, if we can only get him for that first year and a half. Ooh. Like, he was a wrecking ball, middle linebacker, so aggressive, so fun to watch. Stephen Tulloch, another one.
There's three super chats here I got to read off, but I'm going to do it after you say yours because I don't want to steal it.
JS, you up?
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
I would love to have Ezekiel Ansah back in his prime.
11 and a half sacks.
He was an underrated monster. Good. He was talked about from the players, in the players' vote. He was a top 40 player in the NFL in his prime.
He was.
Adding another top 15 edge next to Aiden Hutchinson would be scary. And it's what the whole fan base is pandering for. And I think that some pants would be off if that were to be the case.
That front foot
next
so
to
nasty.
Hutchinson, Ansah. That sounds good to me, baby.
Me too.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Let me think here. I'm going 1 or 2 positions. I'm either going Rob Porcher, 1,000%. You talking about a guy with over 100 career sacks, man. Rob Porcher, the opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Now, he's a wrecking ball. Also, he could play the run. He could play the pass. Is what you needed. He would get to the quarterback, but he also could play that run. Or, hell, give me a healthy Frank Ragnow. Give me a healthy Frank Ragnow. Now,
It's a good pick.
Give me a Pro Bowl.
Give me a healthy Frank
Pro Bowl
Ragnow.
Frank Ragnow.
Give me a healthy Frank Ragnow.
I like that. I want to come back to my answer because I just kind of threw it out there quick. Dante 151 with probably the correct answer, which is Dick Night Train Lane.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know
tough.
if he'd hold up in this era, but
14 picks.
Yeah, he probably would be getting suspended every other week. But when you look at what he would mean to the thinnest room on this squad right now, man. Ooh.
But that's the crazy thing about it. I promise you, and this is why we're having a conversation about the defense for the Detroit Lions in terms of the longevity and the history. There's just not a lot there. You had to go all the way back to the 1960s to find 50s to get Dick Night Train Lane. I wanted a linebacker. I was going to say, Chris Spillman. I can't put Chris Spillman next to Jack Campbell because legitimately they're too slow laterally.
Cofer had some good years, bro.
I can't have two slow lateral linebackers, no matter how good they are downhill. Got to have some linebackers with some speed. Is it Steven Tulloch?
Reggie Brown before.
Reggie Brown for a second, yeah. It's interesting, man.
Chris Houston.
Couple more in the super chat before we switch topics here. Mike G. Getting a couple more spots on that prize wheel. Go Derrick Moore. Can we rename him and Hutch the Maize and Blue Rush? How about the Maize and Honolulu Blue Rush?
Okay, I see what you did there, Anson. Yeah. And Anson said Maize.
I didn't say it. I read what he said.
But then you added the last part.
He paid it.
Did you add the last part?
After the fact.
See, but you still said Maize on your own accord. Yes, sir.
Get your corn out of here.
He's learning.
Michael Wary with a $5 super chat. Okay. With our DB situation as it is, what about bringing back safety Iffy Melifonwu? Well, I've addressed this many times.
That sounded real.
He's fallen out of favor with management. Okay, that's why he didn't see the field until they had to.
Or Glover Quinn. We're talking secondary.
I like Iffy here, but he's not a locker room guy. So he's not coming back.
Glover was like that.
All right, yeah, Glover was like that. But just some fun on the heels of Aaron Donald potentially or probably or one of those words coming back for the Los Angeles Rams this season. Some quick fun. Let's take a quick commercial break. We've been teasing the conversation that still is dominating the airways here in Detroit, man. It is the Dylan Larkin, Stevie Eisman situation. Still can't understand the move, still don't know why. But we got 3 teams, and now we're starting to find out a little bit more about the situation. Pay some bills, and we'll see you in a second. Let's get a message in from Art and Jake's. It is the best sports bar around town. 80 TVs, wall-to-wall, 22 beers on tap, summer nights, fun, Tigers baseball. Does that sound good? Woodward Sports is hitting Art and Jake's in Sterling Heights for a Detroit Tigers watch party. Come hang out with the crew as we will be live Tuesday, June 30th at 7 p.m. as Detroit takes on the New York Spankies. You won't miss a single pitch over 80, you know what I said, 80 TVs, wall-to-wall, scan the QR code, go to the website, tap in on all the socials at Art and Jake's. This is a place that we frequent, so you should too.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Guys, you know about the pizza taking over the world. They're serving it up in Thailand, we hear, and it's that Detroit-style deep dish, but it's not been a secret here in Detroit. We've known about it for 80 years since they invented it over at Buddy's Pizza. And we want to save you 20% off your next order. When you head on over to buddyspizza.com, you see there, just put in that Woodward 20, and you're going to get that 20% off. but it also works for their catering. You want a pizza party this summer with buddies? You can save yourself up to $200 off of that pizza with their catering. So check them out, buddiespizza.com.
And we are back. Got to jump back into this Dylan Larkin situation. Last Friday, we broke the news that Dylan Larkin was requesting a trade from the Detroit Red Wings, and we brought on Justin Satawa to talk about that. Shout out to Woodward Rings.
Crushed it.
Make sure you tap in tonight. Darren McCarty's initial thoughts of Dylan Larkin at 7:15 on Woodward Wings channel. So tap in.
Well, let's stick here because I feel like the conversation has now gained more legs, and that's because Dylan Larkin, he listed the 3 teams that he wanted to go to. Jay, I'm going to come to you. You know, you're the resident expert here. Talk about these 3 teams. Talk about kind of how the conversation has shifted. Talk about what it did to people and maybe got a different rise out of them than last Friday.
All right, so somehow on Monday, miraculously, a journalist was able to have the 3 teams that, you know, were in the trade discussions. Will not say how she managed to get that information, but you could make some assumptions that, you know, someone might have given her the list to make someone look bad. And allegedly, as Dylan Larkin's 3-team list of Vegas, the current leader in the Stanley Cup final, 2-1, the Florida Panthers, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and the Minnesota Wild, where his boy Quinn Hughes just got traded to, as well as 2 other United States players and the GM of the United States team. So what essentially is going on is he is trying to force his way onto a team that is already ready to win the Stanley Cup. My question to you, Braylon, is why should Steve Yzerman trade him there when he is under contract for the next 5 years and could just say, all right, you want to go to these teams? I don't want you to go to these teams. I don't like the packages. So you can either play for Detroit or you can expand your list.
Realistically, and once again, people are making this conversation about the wrong thing. People are making a conversation about what Dylan Larkin didn't do, what Dylan Larkin is, him being soft, him being a baby, him being a blah, 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 or whatever adjective, expletive that you want to use, and you're missing the mark on what this franchise now is, what this franchise now looks like, and led by Stevie Y. So for me, I'd trade him, and I'd trade him to one of these teams. This is the way of sports today. Like, at the end of the day, guys want to play for teams that care. Guys want to play for teams that are winning. Guys want to play for teams that are doing it the right way. The NFL, how many times do you see individuals scrub their socials for nothing? In the NBA, how many times do you see guys say, I want to go play for here? Like, legitimately, James Harden has had his GM restructure teams, restructure organizations just for him to say, yeah, I'm good. I don't really like your organization that much. I'm going to wear a fat suit and get up out of here. So, realistically, a guy that has done right by your organization for 10 years, you wasted 10 years. Help the guy out. Throw the guy a bone. See what you can make happen. See what you can make shake. Maybe it's not Vegas. Maybe it's not Florida. Maybe it's not the Wild. Maybe it's another situation that you put him into where he can legitimately save some of his career. Maybe he makes something happen. Maybe get an opportunity to get into the playoffs. Because right now he's got 10 years and he's got nothing to show for it. And that absolutely sucks. I played with an individual who played for 13 years. No, he played 11. 11 years, no playoff appearances, nothing to show for it except for he busted his ass every single day. And his name is Joe Thomas. And he is now in the NFL Hall of Fame. Yeah, he stayed. He was loyal. He was loyal to the city of Cleveland when they were shit. He was loyal to the city of Cleveland when they couldn't win, when they didn't care, when they were doing this move and that move, and let's bring in this coach who sucks. Let's bring in that coach who sucks. Let's bring in this defensive coordinator that's not even that good over here. Let's make him the head man. Joe Thomas sat through all that quiet, loyal, chill, and what does he have to show for it? Besides the hard work that he put in on his own to make sure nobody got by his blind spot to get to the quarterback. Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame, but he ain't make the playoffs. He don't even know what that feels like. So was it a waste of a career? In terms of the team goal, yeah. But he's in the Hall of Fame. So I just look at it that way. Like, yeah, I can be here. I can be loyal. I can stay with Stevie Y, who clearly doesn't want to win, who clearly wants to keep parading third liners in like their first liner, who clearly doesn't want to make the swing. Maybe he's being handicapped by the ownership, but I'm tired of that excuse. Realistically. So if I know this is what a team is, and a team won't move off that, And the team's not going to change that direction no time soon. Maybe the Red Wings figure it out. Maybe it's in 5 years when I'm now 15 years in. So I just think move on from him. He doesn't want to be here. You haven't talked to him in a year and a half. There's no relationship there. Like, let's stop focusing on what Dylan Larkin, in your opinion, wasn't as a Red Wing.
In modern era, we don't really see loyalty being rewarded. On the opposite side of things, I saw early on when we talked about the fact that we'd be getting into this conversation later, Detroit Dabber in the chat said, winners never quit, quitters never win, bye-bye Larkin. So to Justin's point where you can hold him and you say, hey, I'm not trading you, the problem now is you have a PR nightmare. You have your captain who has vocally told the city of Detroit and all of your fan base he doesn't want to be here. How do you sell that?
Let me ask you this question, and you can get back into it. Let me ask this question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the reason why I asked that question is because is Yzerman quitting on his players, or are the players quitting on Yzerman?
It's a great question.
Because realistically, like, if you're not going to show.
Is this the first domino?
Exactly. If you're not going to try, people say, well, he quit. He's not. How do I phrase this? What came first?
Well, I think we'll see how the rest of the team responds this offseason. And if you start hearing more discontent and more guys wanting out, well, then maybe it's not about your players. And we know already the questions about ownership, but the question all surfaces around the captain. And is this the captain's fault? Is he the egg or the chicken? It's a great question.
Yeah, to fully answer your question and bring it back to you, 10 years is a very long time. That is a long enough sample size to understand what it is and what it's not, what it's going to be and what it won't be. And I think you're looking at Dylan Larkin that understands I've been here 10 years and it ain't going to get no better. Like, my knee hurts, my back hurts, my neck hurts, I'm getting older. Meanwhile, I'm going to USA and I'm talking to my boys, and my boys are telling me what it looks like on the other side. I'm hanging out with the Kachuk brothers, and they're telling me, hey, look, man, I don't know about you, but man, I'm trying to make a move and do something too. Like, it's just Ottawa ain't what it is. Well, you know what? Detroit ain't what it is. Now I'm using ain't for effect, ladies and gentlemen. So it's tough. 10 years is a long sample size, and it's very similar to the Joe Thomas situation.
Yeah, it is. And I didn't fault Larkin for wanting to leave, considering the rough relationship he already had with Yzerman. At the same time, though, he caps negotiations at their knees by trying to go to the three teams that probably can't give you a good enough package. And there's a couple packages out there, that they're throwing out there for Florida that are kind of intriguing, but it's still not to the level that a team that is still a young and up-and-coming team who may have already made the playoffs, like Montreal, Buffalo, Boston. There's so many teams, Anaheim, San Jose, that all have young players that they could, be on the Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider timeline that could be a good return for the Wings. But instead of, being flexible, he could have at least gone, the first rumblings were, oh, it's just he wants to go to an American team. Okay, right. That's easy to negotiate with. You have all but 5 teams in the United States. Well, now he's trying to go to the 3 best teams in the league who don't have cap flexibility and don't have the assets to get him back. It just makes absolutely no sense. So you know what Steve Yzerman needs to do? Like we talked about. You need to tell him, look, there's 2 ways this can go. 1, you can expand your trade list and I'll trade you. 2, you can stay with these 3 teams and you can show up to camp in Traverse City in September. And we'll see where we go from there. And I'm gonna test your will. How bad do you want to be out of Detroit? Do you want to be out of Detroit bad enough where you're willing to make it 10-team list, 15-team list? That's what we need to get down to, because 3 teams ain't enough, Dylan.
But you know what it is though. Look, it's just like this. Yes, is he being a bit of a prima donna? 1,000%. Like, is he being a prima donna? Is he being a bit annoying? Is he being petty because of what's happening to him and Stevie Y and how the guy that he grew up idolizing, they don't even speak and he has no respect for anymore? Sure, they're doing that. But remember when you were 11, maybe 9, 10, 12, I don't know why I always count out of order, but remember you were those ages and your grandma or your auntie would tell you, hey, you know what? I'm going to take you to the store and buy you a toy. Or I'm going to take you here and get you something. Or you know what? You did this. I'm going to get you something. You would not ask for the cheapest toy. You would not tell your auntie, like, yeah, let me just go ahead and get this little thing that's at the counter because it only costs $1.99. No. No, Auntie, I want a PlayStation. I'm a little older than that, so let me be honest. I want a Sega Genesis. I want a bike.
Go big or go home.
I want a jersey. I want the J's.
Well, because with your parents, you might be able to get the $2
but you
toy.
Start here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And this is what Justin said. You
negotiations.
start there.
Yeah.
Like, I want it all. Shoot, give me the PlayStation. Give me a PlayStation game. Give me this. You start there, and then maybe you get a game. And then you're happy. So I think right now it's just him being a bit of an a-hole, and I get that. But eventually I think the cooler sides prevail.
Setting the bar high in the
I'm not going to start off with Buffalo. Hell no. He's starting off there. Or I'm starting off there.
I mean, come on. Nobody's asking to go to Cleveland.
I almost said F no. But no, you're Justin, you asked me a great question outside.
Oh, hell.
Mama E
Before
watching.
we started the show. You already know. And you asked me, my favorite team growing up was the San Francisco 49ers that I did get a chance to play for later in my career. But if I got drafted to the 49ers, Jerry Rice is the GM. Like, you set this up perfectly, actually. I wish I would let you set it up here. If Jerry Rice is the GM, yeah, same. I would be the exact same, and I know this for a fact. This isn't like, well, if I was in a situation, it'd be different. If I had given my hard-earned body for 10 years to a franchise that had no, how am I phrasing it? That doesn't show that they want to move forward, that doesn't show that they want to bring in the necessary tools to make us a better team, to spend that money, to bring in those players, to do things that we can do, the things that we fake.
Business
like we
without
do.
ambition.
There's nothing worse, and I know this from being in Cleveland. There's nothing worse than legitimately going through OTAs, mini camp, summer training camp, going to the season and know you don't have an effing shot and chance.
Damn.
Like, legitimately, like, you're psyching yourself up. Like, he's like, yeah, hey, it's going to be a different season. It's going to be different. No, it's not. We didn't do the things in the offseason. We didn't bring in the people. We don't have the right coaches. Well, they might have the coaches, the players. Like, and then you got to go out there and fake it. You got to go out there and say Super Bowl is the goal.
Now?
Hell yeah.
Wow.
100%.
What a big fall for a mighty franchise.
And just in my thoughts, I mean, I could be wrong, but Justin, they tell me that these players going into the season, now that you're seeing moves like this, now that you're seeing what's happened the last 3 years, we're going into these seasons believing in 2025, yeah, we got a shot to win this thing. Going into 2024, we got a shot to win this thing.
Oh, there's no way they did. I can't believe that they were. Because, like, what, like, true addition, like, really put them over the top? Like, what was there that really was the, like, when you talk about teams, you either talk about insane depth or you talk about insane players.
Yep.
And Mo Sider is absolutely phenomenal, but hockey is the ultimate team game. So, that's why Anson calls it ice soccer, because it genuinely takes every single person on the ice, and it is extremely difficult to win a championship. Like, right now, there are players who are playing on the third lines of Carolina and Vegas who would be on our first line. Multiple players on both teams' third lines would be on our first line. That shows you how far away we are. And that's before Dylan Larkin was off this team. Now with Dylan Larkin gone, now there's a damn conversation, because on a championship level team, the current centers we have are third and fourth centers, third on a good day. And so I truly question why what people are talking about when they're going into the Dylan Larkin trade dance. We're going to get something that's going to save us now. There is no save us now. There is a reset here that has to happen, that to build up the bottom of this roster, to have the depth to go after elite players that want to play here. That's what happened with Carolina. Carolina had elite depth, and then they sold Nikolaj Ehlers in this offseason, who also, by the way, told the Detroit Red Wings, I don't even want to interview with you because you're not serious. That he's going to go there and be the final piece to get there. Like, that's what you could sell to a number one free agent. Right now, you can't sell anyone on this core. You have your captain wanting to leave. You have a year and a half of the GM and Larkin not talking. It's not good enough of a state of the franchise to ask people to come here. So if you got to pivot, and you could get elite assets for Dylan Larkin, and that's what you need to do. How you get this team back to being a playoff team is Steve Yzerman has to nail the return for Dylan Larkin.
And I think, too, even on a fair side of things, the expectation, you're going to have to temper your expectations, because realistically, like you said, the Dylan Larkin move is not going to bring about the change that is going to get the Detroit Red Wings back into the playoffs.
He's not Stafford.
He's not Stafford. What's going to happen is he will be a part of the change. Jay, a lot of the change has to happen with the Red Wings, including this deal. Realistically, what is the retool, rebuild? Like, how long is that going to be for the Red Wings now? Because it's been 10 years, and now you're having almost a reboot, fresh start.
See, now you're in a position, though, where you have like a ton of prospects and draft capital and good young players already in the system, and none of them, other than Mo Sider, are elite players at the position. But you can now fill this team with depth of young players by giving them the chance to play and grow into the roles that you need to do. So what I've been calling it is a flash tank. It is what the Montreal did. It's what Buffalo did. They spent 2 years bad, like pretty bad, and then they were competing back for the playoffs. So honestly, deadlines put pressure on teams to make moves. And the first deadline that can come up for the Detroit Red Wings to put pressure on making a deal for Dylan Larkin is the draft. And is one of those teams who has a top 10 pick willing to talk to Steve Yzerman that can get the okay from Dylan Larkin where he's going to be okay being moved there? And can you get a top 10 pick and prospects that you can help? Because there's a lot of guys, it takes longer for hockey players to get into, especially now with NIL in college. The more players are going from juniors to college and then to the pros instead of from juniors to the pros. They take a gap year. Yeah. So now they also are more NHL ready. But now we're seeing rookies instead of at 19, at 20 and 21. So are there 20 and 21-year-olds that are 2 years under Raymond and Sider that can really start pushing your team up? And so that's why my number one trade destination is Anaheim or San Jose. Teams with plethoras of young talent, draft capital, and who are all up and coming, where I could see Dylan Larkin wanting to go play if he expands his list. However, you're going to get back a very nice haul. You're talking multiple top 5 picks in asset-wise, like prospects who were top 5 picks, who are still growing, who have played in NHL games. That's what I'm looking for, Braylon, in this return. I'm not looking for someone who can come in and just be this carbon copy of Dylan Larkin. Like, that's going to put us in the same place where we are right now. There's only 2 ways to get elite talent: drafting it or getting it in a trade, because those stars do not go to free agency. That's just not how it works in the NHL.
B-Lad, does Stevie Y survive this?
To be honest with you, I can't believe that he's still here long enough.
That's a fair statement.
And I know he's from my understanding, he's kind of a hothead, and he likes to get things done. But throughout the last 2 or 3 years, every time he steps up to the podium and his exit interviews and his exit press conferences, it's the same dang thing over and over again. I watched the first 2 years. I didn't watch this year because I knew it was going to be the same thing. And I feel like he has some sort of job security, and he knows that he can kind of stay here in a way. But like I said before, I'm just still surprised he's here at this point, knowing how fast we move on from people, especially in the Red Wings organization. How many coaches did we go through in the last 4 years?
Kind of like he won 4 Stanley Cups or something.
Oh, I'm not discrediting his acclimates at all, but I mean the same thing happened 4 years in a row.
This would do more damage to the franchise calling him a failure and the divorce than going 4 more years without the playoffs. You and I talked about over the weekend, Justin. I think people in our
is it the Joe Dumars conversation a little bit?
It's more than just him. It's the Joe Dumars, the Isaiah Thomas, the Matt Stafford. There's so many divorces. Barry Sanders, all of them. And I think that Justin's had this frustration where there's a divide between the generations on how to treat Stevie Yzerman. And the fact is
the Tigers, Lou Whitaker.
But if you look at us. At our time watching all of this stuff, we've watched all of these great teams end badly. And these guys that won't come back for 10, 20, or ever years. And so when you talk to a guy like Neil Rule versus talking to a guy like Justin, they understand the impact of saying this is over. Anywhere else, he's gone. This guy doesn't have a job anymore. But the impact that it would have on this franchise to say, okay, the captain, not Isaiah. This isn't his town the way it is Stevie's. That's the captain. And that hurts me to say it. But if you divorce him, that that luster that he brought to this franchise, it's forever tarnished. Like Stevie failed here. Nobody ever wants to say that.
Yeah, it's real. It seems like it's a Detroit thing. Yeah. There's a bunch of Tigers that have real relationships with Tigers front office. Red Wings, potentially, you saw that Sergei Fedorov finally was winning last year.
That hurt for decades.
Detroit Lions, the Detroit Pistons. I'm noticing a current theme. It is the city of Detroit.
Lots
in
of
this situation.
divorces.
Lots to talk about. Look, we'll catch up on a commercial break. It'll be the last one on the show. And when we come back, there was a game last night in the NBA in which somebody finally lost after 46 days. We'll talk about that. Let's get a quick commercial break in from Pure, and then we'll follow it right back up that too, Anson.
Hey, listen, the Spurs, they kept me from having to call Pure this morning because I almost was going to, man. But listen, for real, though, if you're dealing with anxiety, PTSD, relationship stuff, that stuff's not as easy to talk about as it is to talk about sports for us guys. But our partnership with Pure Psychiatry, we did it on purpose because these guys get it. They tailor a program just for you. It's not cookie cutter. And they're all throughout Michigan, Northern Ohio. So get the ball rolling with counseling. Start today. Reach out to them at purepsychmi.com, guys. And then, after that, listen, got to head on over to Supreme Lending because once you got your mind right, you are ready for home buying season. Whether you're doing a brand new home or you're looking to upgrade or you're just refinancing this summer, you've got to get a call into Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending. They will get you started on the path so that you can get into the best profile possible. We're talking lowest interest rates. We're talking about 0% down payment programs. And we're talking about saving you up to $500 off of your home appraisal. All you have to do is mention the fact that Woodward Sports sent you. So get on the horn, look them up online, find them, Supreme Lending.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Justice Satawa here with Woodward Sports. Let me tell you about Massage Chair House, and let me tell you, you need to upgrade your relaxation game today. You know, whether it's a man cave or just in the living room, Massage Chair House has you covered with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc. He will get you all the latest details of the Asaki, and the variety that he's got in that place is crazy. We were there for the NFL draft, and we were comfy as could be. So make sure you tap in with him at Eric Duncan, the Massage Chair House on YouTube and in store today. The largest massage chair showroom in Pure, Michigan.
He even does reads. Shout out to Justice Tower. They're doing it all. Welcome back to the Braylon Show on Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday. Having some conversation about Dylan Larkin. Oh, sorry about that. I got to get myself you know what? It's right here. Here's the mark every single time.
Yep.
We'll come back to that. A lot of fun conversation. Talked about Dylan Larkin. Saw Herman and what he had to say about Isaac Teslaa and this Detroit Lions team this year. Go back, check it out. It was well done. Now, Anson, I know you're excited. Before we get there, are there any comments, any super chats, anything we need to clean up, talk to the people?
I was just texting my buddy Justin over there, but listen, there's been a lot of good chats in today. Super chats are solid. I'm a little surprised, guys. Again, we're giving out this football at the end of the week, so I want to make sure that you guys get your chances each day. Super chats are going to get you a spot on that wheel, but the peasants lost again. And listen, we could talk about how the New York Hoops team is really good, and hasn't lost in 46 days like you talked about. We can talk about the absolute peasantry, the peasant revolt going on in the streets of New York. Like at this point, I don't even know how you could be the governor of that city and be like, not on the phone with Adam Silver, we can't have this. We just can't even have this. You got to shut this whole series down right now, because we will talk about that. But you hit me with the question back there. You didn't even realize that you really asked me. And you told me something, so I'm going to frame it to everybody. Why are you watching this finals? What are you watching for? Are you watching Wemby? Are you watching Brunson? Because Braylon, you came in and you said that you are watching these finals for a reason that wouldn't shock you if I said it. But hearing it from Braylon, I was kind of excited. Do tell.
Realistically, you watch these finals, the NBA is in such a manipulation place right now. Anson comes up here, he's been talking about it for a minute, and we know that to be true, but I'm still, talking about the Knicks, giving credit here, giving credit to Wemby, et cetera, et cetera. But you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't say you're just watching these finals to see how the NBA, how the refs, how the system is going to manipulate calls, to manipulate spots of games, to get to the last part of the game where this is the winner we want so that we can do this. This is the winner we want tonight so that we can get to game 3. This is the winner we want tonight. So that's what it is. Like, as great as Wemby was last night, as great as Jalen Brunson has been in the first 2 wins that they had, as great as OG Anunoby, who played last night, and realistically, if Jalen Brunson would have passed the ball to OG Anunoby a little bit earlier in that fourth quarter, might have helped out a little bit. Cat was balling in the first half. Didn't have any points in the fourth quarter. But I digress on that. Jalen, look, last night wasn't your best night. Anyway, you're watching that game to see what are going to be the calls that aren't called. What are going to be the calls that you're going to that's not a charge? That's not a flagrant one? That's not a double dribble? That's not a travel? That's not an over and back? That's not a flagrant two?
Thank you, Bray.
You watch the game to literally see how is the NBA going to get to the outcome? And it really sucks to watch. I'm being honest. I don't have a dog in this fight, and I'm not mad that my dog's not in the fight. I'm mad that the NBA has gotten to such a place where now I'm watching and critiquing the zebras. I'm watching and critiquing the commercial breaks. I'm watching and critique what the announcers say, because sometimes the announcer will say little things. They will say little things.
Their initial reaction, and then they shut right up.
What?
No reviews.
But there were 85 million reviews yesterday, except the 3 that needed them.
Yes.
And then they sped through. It's like, what? And what I love about having guys like Richard Jefferson on the show, on the broadcast.
Company man.
Well, also, too, yes, but no at the same time. He's new. So when he's new, some stuff is happening in live action, and he's telling on himself.
Yes.
He's telling on
Yes.
Like, that's more so what I'm saying, because he's not conditioned enough
he's
yet
not.
to be smooth with it.
Catch himself in the middle of
He
it.
was saying stuff on air. He was like, they're going to get that ball. He would have to catch himself. So I'm not. This isn't conspiracy.
I'm so glad you caught
This isn't
that.
conspiracy, Braylon and Anson. This is real. This is real talk. This is what it is.
This
is what it is. Like, tell me I'm the only one. You watch the games and you're like, half of you guys can't watch the game because you're pissed the Pistons aren't in. I get that. And the other half, you can't watch the game because you're starting. And you're like, man, this is some BS.
All right, I'm gonna bring
It's a
something
garbage
up
product. So shout out to Wemby. He came aggressive in the first quarter of the game, 9 points or 4 for 4, the whole 9 yards. He was aggressive, got to the bucket. You can tell G-Pop had some insight in that game because they switched the systems up. They literally stopped trying to go through Wemby. They're starting to let Castle get to the bucket. Like, all that is good. But just watching all the manipulation, man, it's like...
I could literally go through like point after point every 1 to 2 minutes. It's not about overall fouls, it's about moments and how they're handled. How you don't call it on one side and then that turns into a turnover, a loose ball, goes the other way, and then they don't score, but you bail them out. Now, real quick before I do get into the super chat here, have you felt that it's gone one way more than the other?
No.
No, okay.
No, real talk. I'll say this. I felt like in game 1, they went the way of the Knicks to get them back into the game, and I think this.
But that's 3 times I've felt.
And then I think that the Knicks took advantage.
Yep.
I think in the second game they went a little on both sides to keep it even, and I think the Spurs blew it at the end.
Yes.
2 turnovers, 2 misses. Hell, even Jalen Brunson missed a free throw and tried to help out. And I think last game it was evident.
Thank you.
Last game it was evident.
Greg Thomas. something we talked about yesterday. Peasants got trumped.
Word for word, bar for bar.
So, bro, if they lose this series, a city that might have been split on their own native son, they will all hate him.
So what were you guys, let me ask you this in the chat, Anson, because I know this is your topic, etc. What will you guys do if somehow the New York Knickerbockers, they lose this in 7? Like, how happy will you be?
Come on.
Oh, dude. Ecstatic.
I mean,
look at him smiling over there.
Ecstatic,
first and
bro.
foremost,
I've never seen him smile like
that.
He looked like one of the little rascals.
Bro, like,
the only time I've seen him smile like that is when the Packers beat the Lions in Week 1 last year.
Celtics, Lakers. But see, I can't say that the Knicks are over the Pacers. I've just dug myself such a damn hole over here, bro.
Peasants.
Talking about these damn peasants that, it would be a absolute birthday gift for them to come back in historic fashion too, going up 2-0 on the road and then coming home and dumping both games at the Mecca and then burning your city down after you lose in 7. Oh, give it to me.
I will say this though, tell me if I'm wrong on this. Did you guys pay attention? It seemed as if the lights, the celebrities, the $300,000 seats, the hoopla, the BS, who's in the building. It seemed like it hurt the Knicks more than it did the Spurs.
A little extra pressure.
Hell yeah. Outside of OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson for a brief moment in the third, like, the Knicks look like, man, it's too much pressure.
It's everyone they've been watching like their whole life for entertainment that's just watching them now. So I think the lights were a little bit too bright for them, and I'm glad they were.
Yeah.
Hate the Knicks.
1,000%.
Peasants.
Justin over there messing with me.
What are y'all talking about? Y'all got your own little back and forth going on.
Take that overcheese over here.
I'll tell you what. If that cheese ends up
coming.
on my
No,
head
it's
this
coming.
year,
It's coming.
Oh, was I wrong?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Was I
if you're
wrong?
wrong, dude. I'm
wrong?
Putting the cheese right on your head. It's going right in your head. Reverse Packers a week. It's going right in your head.
Let me ask another angle, another question as it relates to this, and then we'll get up out of here in a second, man. Almost done. Appreciate you guys, man. It's been a hell of a show.
Smash that.
Do you love the new direction, man? We told you we're making our show better and better and better, and we're doing it from within. Adding Justin to this show, adding Anson, adding B-Lab, more content. My boy Sweet Potato Cam, the crew, the team that we have.
Deep
we're just
roster.
adding more and more. We want to make sure that you guys
Kool-Aid's
love
still
the
part of
content.
it too.
You saw Kool-Aid yesterday, and
That's
I'm
right.
glad you guys did, because then you're like, oh, okay, everything's cool.
Yeah, I know it.
Braylon
Perfect
wasn't blowing
timing
smoke.
for
He
it.
wasn't full of you know what. Talk about Wemby though. Let's no refs, no peasant talk, none of that. What have you seen from Wemby? This is 3 games now in his NBA Finals, NBA career. He got his first win. He talked about game 1. He let the team down. Talked about game 2 just not being the best. It was his fault. Game 3. Talk about Wemby so far in these finals.
I'm glad you brought it up because it's something we talked about yesterday. What you're seeing in these playoffs is about 3 years worth of playoff experience that you would see for most young players. This guy's been down and in the hole. He's had 7th games. He's had bad moments. He's had huge moments. And no worse moment than the end of game 2, tied with 12 and a half seconds left, and you throw it off your point guard's back, get the foul that gives the clinching free throw to the opposition, and then on the way in the tunnel, you drop to your knees and weep. Okay, and that's received in many different fashions. Some people, hey man, he's soft. For me, it's a continuation of what we've seen from him over time, whether it was at the Olympics.
Oh, the Olympics.
When he gets shot
Mad
over
France,
and he was heartbroken.
Him and Chet.
Chet back when he's 17. And at the All-Star game, this guy cares. And when he knew it was on him, he knew that was his failure, his breakdown in a major, major moment. What we saw was him answer every critic of, hey, he shouldn't be on his knees crying. Wait for the locker room if you're going to do that. I got no respect for a guy that's going to cry. Well, it means a lot to him. He's an emotional guy, but you saw those emotions in check, and he was able to be the best player on the court. Him and Steph Castle had a big talk, and they changed the way they played. They truly adjusted. So now it's up to the Peasants, because if they lose that game 4 on their home floor, and they have to go back to Alamo, baby. Remember the Alamo, because I remember in 05, that's a hard place to play. Game 7, my heart is still laying out there. But I'm going to tell you right now, if that thing's even up going back there, listen, the NBA, they're going to make more money off of Knicks fans losing their bets than they will not giving Wemby that chip, man. Listen, that's the future
Conspiracy answers,
It ain't Jalen. Give me that stuff over there. Give me that. What'd you pull yesterday? X-Files, man. But yes, listen. I think that this thing gets even because there's way more money and way more intrigue in a 7-game series than there is the Knicks headed to San Antonio up 3-1.
Two things. The first thing is you're absolutely right in terms of the change. One of the biggest changes is everybody on the Spurs was watching Wemby game 1 and 2. They were watching Wemby, running through Wemby. What's Wemby going to do? How can I respond? Well, game 3, Stephen Castle, he had 20 in the first half, because he got to the basket. When you get to the basket, when you're driving, now you get Wemby potentially side open, if you will. Jay, and we're about to end this conversation. What about you? Wemby, Victor Brown. It's funny, though. People you don't like, you won't give a pass to. People you do like, you do give a pass to. Because I'll tell you like this. When I saw Joel Embiid cry after Kawhi Leonard hit that shot, I said, shut your big ass up. What are you crying for? I saw Wemby cry. I was like, that's right. It's going to be all right. I said, it's going to be all right. I said,
he loves the game.
I said, next game, go back to your Buddhist training. Go back to the mountain. Remember, be one with your synergy. Because I like Wemby. It is what it is.
I like Wemby, too. I really want the Spurs to come back and win the series. I can't lie.
Oh my god.
I also I love watching greatness, and this Knicks team, it does not have greatness on it, in my opinion. I do think Jalen Brunson is a Hall of Famer, but other than that, they're not special. This is Wemby's ascension. Already knocking out, like everyone thought OKC was gonna win that series. He already knocked them out. And now he has a chance to go on a Giannis Antetokounmpo type finals run. You remember he dropped 200 points in the last 5 games of the NBA Finals against the Suns. And
50. Game 7.
50, 11, and 5 blocks on the Suns to win that game. He went down 2-0, but the difference was he went down 2-0 in Phoenix and then won out in Milwaukee. He's going to have to go into New York and win 2 there to do it like Giannis. So that's going to be really interesting, and we'll see it down the stretch. I hope the Spurs are going to win, and I hope that Wemby. I think Wemby decided that he's not going to settle for those tough middies. He's going to start taking it to the rack and take those high percentage shots. The game today. It's either layups, dunks, or 3-pointers, and that's the way that it should be.
Braylon, only the NBA can ruin this story. That's the only thing. Like everything he just said, this is the ascension story.
Yeah. I think the big thing for me as it relates to if the Knicks won, it just sucks that the backcourt would be like Josh Hart, bro. Like Josh Hart would be in the backcourt to win the championship.
Josh Hart winning anything.
He's playing his ass off, man, and he is a winner. They won in Villanova.
They got the magnet on, bro.
But you know what they did too? Like they legitimately didn't guard him. Like Wemby, they moved Wemby. They put Wemby on Josh Hart. So now, because Josh Hart, you're leaving him open. Now you leave him open, he knocked it down. I'm not mad if Josh Hart has 12 points.
Agreed.
I'm not mad if Josh Hart has 18 points.
Correct.
Because I can stop the other guys. 100%. I can hold Cat to 11. I can let Jalen get what he does. All you need is 2. So 1,000.
Quick super chat before we get out of here. Dante 151 with the 199. Please talk about Texas Tech fiasco. We will talk about it tomorrow.
100%.
Full segment. We're going to get into it. That's a really interesting topic, and obviously
Haywire
is very insightful on that matter. So
Pete Rose is rolling over in his grave right now. That's all I'm saying.
Smash that like button, guys. We're just a few short.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, man. This is the Brother Number Show on Woodward Sports 2.0, man. For Anson Wells, Sweet Potato Cambila, and my new right hand, Justin Satawa. We are the Brother Number Show, and we will see you mañana.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.